beat Ohio State again. It's not something we're trying to do, folks. We're going to do it again next year home. It's happened again. Michigan has beat Ohio State again, 45-23. One of the great ass kickings in the second half I have ever seen in my life. Jack, let's just do it, baby. Beat Ohio State again, folks. Just get the Bosas down in the comments. This photo right there that you just saw has created a movement amongst the Michigan fan base, players, coaches, community. Since we started in January of 2020, it has not led to a single loss for Michigan in this rivalry, folks. Comment Bosa down in the comments. Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, Cornelius Johnson, the defense, Jesse Minter. What a game for this program. What a statement in the second half. Everything we've been telling you for weeks, for months, for years. CJ Stroud is completely soft. Ohio State completely soft. When push came to shove, folks, when you had to put your head down there in the grindstone, when you had to get a win, when you had to play man football, Michigan got it done. One of the great dominations in the second half, 28-3. Michigan dominated this second half. JJ McCarthy, 12-24, 263, folks. And that's not even, really talking about what he did, because he had 204 in the first half, so only 60 yards after halftime, but it was all the Donovan Edwards show in the second half. 22 carries in the game, 260 yards, 16 yards, 2 touchdowns. Cornelius Johnson, that second quarter, 69-yard catch, 75-yard touchdown catch. Coldridge, Stroud, same exact stats as last year for the most part. I think last year was 31-49, 31-48 this year, 349, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. What a game. I mean, that fourth quarter just unraveled for Ohio State, and Michigan dominated to the likes we haven't seen since the mid-90s, since 1995 or 1996, among those lines. The rivalry, folks, has completely flipped. I've got my hard hat. I mean, I'm not saying this is the reason for the victory here, but I'm not saying it, baby. Michigan beats Ohio State's ass, just like last year, just like next year. This team's going all the way. National championship, January 8th. Jack, get your tickets ready for LA, because we will be there. Get down in the comments now. Give me your one-word reactions. Why do we put win? Win? Ass kicking. One-word reaction to Michigan's 45-23 ass-kicking win over Ohio State. Get it down in the comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking. I am so pumped. I mean, I felt good in the first half that you are not playing without Blake Corum, that you kept the game within 3 points. You let Ohio State bend, but didn't break really outside that Marvin Harrison touchdown. The second half, it was an ass-kicking like we have never seen. Maybe one of the great ass-kickings in the history of college football, 28-3 in the second half. Now let's go through my thoughts here. What a game, folks, by JJ McCarthy. I just can't speak enough to the play by JJ McCarthy. Now, he was struggling the first couple drives or so, and then in the second quarter, he hit that 69-yard touchdown pass to Cornelius Johnson, which was just like an out route that didn't seem to be a game-changing play at the time. Johnson makes a move, beats a safety deep, and then they come back. He does another one after halftime. Colson Loveland. And then in the second half, right, that was a gutsy-ass play to get that touchdown when they went forward on a quarterback draw, I guess, where he just basically slammed himself into the Ohio State defensive lineman at the line. A couple other plays that were just terrific by JJ in the second half, as I look at my notes here, is how about this? How about that unsportsmanlike conduct by Ohio State on the punt? How about that unsportsmanlike conduct by G. Scott? What a jerk. Headbutting a Michigan player 5-6 yards out of bounds. But JJ McCarthy, in that play where he scored the touchdown, there was back-to-back blitzes by Ohio State where he didn't take a sack. On second down, he threw it away. On third down, he threw it up to Ronnie Bell and got the pass interference, and then Michigan scored a touchdown. A player or two later. I'll have to look back, but as we're going live, we're just recording this moments after Michigan wins 45-23. The only thing that I would question, there's 2 things I question about Michigan this entire game. It was the clock management in the first half, last minute or so, and Michigan didn't get an opportunity for a field goal or, of course, even a touchdown. And then when it was like a 57-yard field goal and Michigan was up by, 10 or 11 at that point, that Michigan kicked a long field goal. We could have punted it and put a little more pressure on Ohio State. But the turnovers came in the second half, folks, and it was a wild thing to see. This is one of the most fulfilling games in my entire life. And, folks, if you want to be fulfilled this holiday season, you've got to do it with our sponsor, Established Titles, folks. Today's Michigan Football Report is sponsored by Established Titles, a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. It is a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds, or lords and ladies in English. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Eddleston, Scotland, and they make an official certificate with a crest. We plant 1 tree with every order and work with global charities, 1 tree planted, and trees for the future to support global reforestation efforts. You could officially include the title Lord or Lady on your credit card, plane tickets, dating profiles, etc., etc. It makes a great last-minute holiday gift. Get your shopping done, folks, because the first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link, establishedtitles.com/chat, will effectively have a plant within moments of mine. Depending on how many of you want to become a lord or lady in Eddleston, Scotland, we can build our own little Michigan football community. It makes a great last-minute holiday gift. I mean, look, I am Lord James Yoder, and I'm not just Lord of Scotland at this point. I am Lord over Ohio State football because Michigan beat Ohio State's ass. Look at this thing. Some little Weasley Ohio State fan sent this to me. Smack him around, okay? He is not getting Established Titles from me, but you can. establishedtitles.com/chat. They're running an awesome holiday post-Thanksgiving sale right now. Up to 80% off normally, plus an extra 10%. Link in the comments and the description. establishedtitles.com/chat. Go get yourself an Established Titles certificate. Be a landowner in Scotland. Get one for someone for the holiday season. establishedtitles.com/chat. No Blake Corum, I guess no problem, because Michigan had one of its best performances in years, honestly. I mean, for all you're considering here, you're going up against likely the Heisman frontrunner in C.J. Stroud, the number 2 team in the country, 22 years of not getting the job done, not winning in Columbus. Blake Corum out. He plays 2 plays and then is out 2 carries for 6 yards, and then he doesn't play. And then Donovan Edwards is out, cast hand, wrap around his thing, broken hand. We've been telling you for 2 weeks. He has the game of his lifetime. He has one of the great games in Michigan football history. JJ McCarthy is one of the great games in Michigan football history. Cornelius Johnson, right? Colson Loveland, the defense forcing turnovers. How many turnovers we end with here, Jack? We got 2 turnovers. They both Coldridge interceptions. I'm looking at the stats here as we were just going live. Coldridge, Stroud, 349, 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. Go to Donovan Edwards. The backup. Michigan's backup just basically beat Ohio State. I'm having a sip of beer here, folks. I'm having fun right now. 22 carries, 216, averaging 10 yards of carry. Donovan Edwards, what a performance for that young man. One of the great performances in the history of this program, the history of this rivalry. That is for sure. Next thought here. I'm just going to take a sip of beer. This is amazing. Jack, this isn't a beer. This is Ohio State tears. Ohio State tears. Oh, Donovan Edwards, 200 fucking rushing yards. What a fucking game, baby. Jim Harbaugh, as the producer is like, my ears. Jim Harbaugh absolutely owns Ryan Day. Day will enter his 5th full season next year with 1 win versus Michigan. If you don't think the hot seat is on Ryan Day right now, you've got another thing coming. Jim Harbaugh absolutely now owns Ryan Day. Day hasn't got a win since Justin Fields, one of the great carpetbaggers of all time, was the Ohio State quarterback in 2019. How about Jesse Minter? I mean, what a defensive performance, folks. They needed, again, legendary catches by the wide receivers, just like they did last year. Marvin Harrison was having absurd catches early on, and he had that touchdown pass, second quarter touchdown catch. That was a great play by him. But Jesse Minter, what a game. I'm just doing quick math here. I mean, I pull up the first half stats. I pull up the second half stats. Ohio State, C.J. Stroud, Coldridge Stroud, 191 in the first half, 124 yards rushing for Ohio State in the first half. So for the game here, let's just do a little quick math here. So Stroud had 150 after halftime, but the Buckeyes, 124, they only had 15 yards rushing in the second half. 21-24, 124-16, 18 yards rushing, 19 yards rushing in the second half. Quick math, as I've had 1 or 2 cocktails here. Now, they're missing people. They're missing Jackson Smith and Jaba, Travion Henderson, and they're playing Chip Trainum. I think it was an Arizona State transfer or something like that, right? Like he came as a linebacker, now playing running back. So they were down 2. So give them a little bit of credit. But overall, folks, that was the best second half performance by a Michigan football team I can ever remember in my life. You just outscored Ohio State 28-3 at their house, without your Heisman Trophy candidate, with a sophomore quarterback who's struggled for 4 straight games. 3 points for Ohio State in the second half, 28 points for Michigan in the second half. No field goals, right? They missed one field goal, but that was the way to do it. That was the same second half we saw last year, and that is why Michigan, folks, in my opinion, is your favorite now to win the national championship. Hell, should be number one team in the country, in my opinion. But make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. If this show doesn't do it for you, delete your computer, delete your YouTube app, whatever it is. Subscribe now because we're going to college football playoff. We've got now, 36 days or so until that game. So make sure 35 days you subscribe at youtube.com/Michigan TV, the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, James Yoder. Jack Latteray behind the camera, the best in the business, been with me all season. An undefeated regular season. The first time Michigan's gone 12-0. First time they've gone 12-0 in the history of the program in a regular season. Did go 12-0 in 1997 with the Rose Bowl victory over Washington State. And speaking of postseason, Ohio State does not belong in the playoff after this game. I was willing to concede that either team as the loser, Michigan included, lost by 7 to 10, 12 points, and it was a good game like today that they would have deserved it. And I even thought Ohio State probably would have been in that category had not the last 20 minutes of the game, right? The whole fourth quarter, last 5-6 minutes of the third quarter. You cannot lose, like the scoreboards here are going to say, 22 points at home. You cannot lose 22 points by 22 points at home when the opponent's best player gets 2 plays in the entire game. Blake Corum did not play the entire game. Their second best running back was playing with a cast on his hand, gets 200 yards on that ass. How many touchdowns did he have? Edwards, those 2 touchdowns, what were they like? I have to look at the stats here. I'm going to look at the scoring plays here just to give him his proper attribution. Donovan Edwards in the fourth quarter, 7 minutes, 11 seconds left. 75-yard touchdown run. Donovan Edwards, 3 minutes and 19 seconds left. 85-yard touchdown run, so 160 yards in the last 7 minutes and 11 seconds. 2 touchdowns for Donovan Edwards. That was the difference in the game. Ryan Day is a little scaredy cat. Coldred Stroud is cold, and he, looking back, I mean, I guess maybe the good weather helped out for Michigan. JJ McCarthy got it going with the passing game, made Ohio State abandon what they were doing, which is basically put 9 guys in the box, and Michigan was able to then run in the third quarter, run in the fourth quarter, and down the stretch, 2 absurd 75-yard, 85-yard touchdown runs by Donovan Edwards in the last 7 minutes, 11 seconds of this game, folks. One more thing is toss this up on the screen here. Give me a go blue in the comments. Let's light this comment up. Let's break a record for this channel. 6,600 comments is the record. Comment go blue 400 times if you can for me. Come back to me full screen here in a second, Jack. I want to talk about a couple more things that go through my notes here. How about that play, Khalil Mullings on, was it 3rd and 1 in the second half? The jump pass. What a play call. How about the JJ McCarthy quarterback run to score the touchdown? What a play call there as well. Point out a couple things that lost Ohio State the game. 2 unsportsmanlike conduct plays, one on their punts late in the fourth quarter. One by G. Scott. What an absolute scumbag that guy is. G. Scott, his dad's like a local radio guy in Seattle. Get your son in line here because he looks like a scumbag going 6 yards out of bounds to headbutt a Michigan player, and it probably could have cost Ohio State the game because there's a major momentum shifter there for this team. Michigan, folks, wins 45-23. I'm going to stay on here a second. I'm just going to go through my thoughts here going through the game. I mean, early on in the game, lucky ass catch by Marvin Harrison, right? I'm just looking at my notes early on. Intentional grounding play early on. Brutal play called by the refs, and Michigan, they overcame it. Mike Sainristil, when was that? In the second half. Mike Sainristil blocked. They went for it on, was it on 4th down or 3rd down? 3rd down, went to Cade Stover on a very well-designed play called by Ohio State, and Sainristil recovered, got his hand there, knocked the ball out of Cade Stover's hand. That may have been the straw that broke the Ohio State camel back. And it's going to be shambles season in Ohio State going forward. I don't think they should make the college football playoff with Clemson apparently losing today, although I didn't see really much of the game or anything of the game. Ohio State might make the college football playoff. They don't deserve to. They probably will, but let's hope they don't. Let's hope that cooler heads see that they lost by 22 points at home and they got absolutely dominated by a Michigan team without their best player. I am calling for Blake Corum to win the Heisman. I need you guys to give me some go blues in the comment. Light them up. I don't think that Corum being out of the game hurts anything for his Heisman candidacy. Like, it doesn't help, but certainly I'm not sure if it hurts. If Notre Dame beats USC tonight, then I think Blake Corum has the Heisman Trophy. I would at least hope so, at least expect so with what we saw out of Coldred Stroud. 0-2, the worst performing Ohio State quarterback in decades at this point. Lost back-to-back games to Michigan. What a bum. They'll hope to get better quarterback play next season. But Michigan will have JJ McCarthy and Donovan Edwards and tons of those players who made huge plays today. Braden McGregor. Did I say anything about Braden McGregor? He played a hell of a game. He dropped back on from defensive lineman that one time, dropped back into coverage. He blocked that one pass on third down. Huge game for Braden McGregor. Huge game for him. There were so many great plays. That's it. Keep following me on Twitter. It's at James Yoder. And we will put out a video of Michigan football overreaction Sunday. I'll kind of just take everything in and look at the stats and have a little more structured show for you. But this is all emotion. Go Blue in the comments. Michigan's headed to the College Football Playoff. Michigan will play in the Big Ten Championship game next Saturday night. And we'll be back with you with a video tomorrow and every single day the rest of this year as Michigan is in the College Football Playoff. Until I see you guys next, go Blue!